Welcome to our Metal Reactions channel. I'm Brad.
I'm Alena.
Quick plug for Shayne Capazorio, who did an awesome job on our intro video and channel branding in general. If you need some graphic design work done for yourself, you can find his email in the description below. And it's been so long since we've done Nightwish that I think this is the first time the Nightwish army's even seen our new, now not so new, channel branding and intro video.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Yeah, it's been about 2 months. We're sorry for that. It wasn't the intention. We've just been busy doing a whole bunch of reactions for our patrons. And yeah, I mean...
we have to correct it
now. This is the course correction. Mm-hmm. So we have a Nightwish playlist. If you're new to our channel, we've done 10 Nightwish songs before this. This is the 11th.
10, wow.
So have fun. Set aside quite a bit of time there. Our reactions aren't that short. Now the song we've picked today is Storytime for no particular reason. I mean, there's so many we could have picked. Just went with this one. The last 8 people to request this song were Beekeezer, Jan Olaf, Picadoran, Leon Harold, Stormwatchman, Jay Muller, Sono Soloio, Jean-Francois Doyon. Now, there were many others going back months, but that's just the most recent 8.
Okay.
Alright, so needless to say, I don't know the song. I don't know if you do or not.
No, I think it's from your albums.
Okay. And as always, live performance for the Wacken 2013, which that's the same as the Song of Myself, which was our first floor experience we had.
Okay.
So maybe. we're back to that. Back to that concept.
Confirm that. No deny.
All right, let's get going.
I think it's time for a little story. It's definitely story time.
You decided not to stop anything. I think I had my earphones wrong. I was thinking, why it feels so weird.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the mega long songs.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
But you're free to pause. Too late now. But...
No, it's too long to go all the way over there.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it was. I mean, it's what I would say I was expecting, because we already saw a video from that album, so it was as cool as that video too. And I really like the melody, especially like the one in the chorus. It's very uplifting and just interesting. You know, gives me the idea of some music from the film or a cartoon or something like that. Something magic. Yeah, it was magic.
Fairy tale.
Well, I mean, the whole song is the fairy tale, I think.
Storytime.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to, because we were talking just yesterday about all the instruments, so I was trying to figure out who's playing what. Yeah. Was there a double bass there?
Ooh,
because I was looking and he was moving like two legs, so I think there was, but I might be wrong because I'm very new to it.
Yeah, I wasn't consciously paying attention to if there was or wasn't. There wasn't a moment that particularly stuck out to me, like when double bass came in or not. No,
it was just throughout the song, and then there was one moment then it was more drumming than usual.
Yeah. So like there was a very nice drum solo. I really liked that. Yeah. But I was more during the drum solo. What stuck out to me the most was the stick work.
Okay. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out who plays what.
Yeah, so just for context.
So I'm just learning. I'm like a first grader or something.
We were watching Chase Carnison's video of Gojira, Another World, because we'd just done that same song, and obviously we focus mostly on the lyrical analysis and stuff, and you know, love Chase and his videos, and like we just watched to get a bit of a better sense from the instrumental side, and he was talking about the different instruments here and there. So we actually sat and we'd rewind and listen again, like, okay, can you hear the bass drum? Okay, can you hear the bass guitar? Okay, we're like going through the different things that Chase was talking about. So that's why she's in this mode now, trying to pick up the instruments.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the guitars that you can hear right away. So I think before I was always like focusing just on the main things. Yeah. Okay, so your favorite part though really was more the chorus and the melody there? Yeah, I think that was my favorite part about it. It was very engaging. I mean, you don't want to dance and just... As is typical between us, I have completely different parts that were my favorite parts. Okay. So I loved that intro. It hit a lot harder than I expected it to. I don't know, because it has the Storytime feel. Maybe I just went in with a little bit of an expectation of it being a little bit of a lighter song. Again, based on nothing. Just I don't know why. Why would you expect that? I don't know. I can't even... We've heard enough songs for you to know that it's not going to be light. not light throughout, but you know, I mean, obviously Nightwish has a spectrum of songs. I just, for no particular reason, thought this would be more on the ballady side, or maybe like a... That's all unintentional bias there. Yeah. But it wasn't. I mean, it hit hard in the beginning, and I really liked that. There were multiple parts where the guitars had a very nice tone, a nice like... When there were two guitars, like not solo, but... Yeah, well, I mean, they work so well together. And then the drum solo as well that you picked out. And then also, Flo had a couple moments, well, one sort of towards the end, and then the very end, where she was singing in the very high voice. I really like that voice of hers in particular. I mean, she does so many voices the opera style in a song, but... Yeah, I mean, it's so impressive, her vocal range. And of course, it's not the only thing she does, but in this particular song, that was my favorite type of singing that she did there. That's new to me. You don't usually like opera? Anything?
I wouldn't say that I don't
suddenly.
like. It's not that I don't like opera. I mean, I like operatic vocals. Like certainly in like the male
combination with heavy stuff.
Yeah, I noticed the guys didn't sing. Well, Marco in particular didn't sing here. But in like male operatic vocals in metal, more like your old school stuffs, like your Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden, and that kind of thing. I really like those operatic vocals. But just the bands that I've grown up listening to, there haven't really been many with like female fronted operatic vocals. So it's not that I don't like them. It's just that wasn't what I was used to growing up. So, but now being exposed to more stuff like that, I mean, but it's like Floor's amazing. So it's partly because of her that it's just, she does it so well.
Okay.
How can you not like that voice?
All right. Fair enough. I think in terms of the lyrics, it just looks like a deja vu.
Yeah.
Probably it's because we have already heard a song from this album. So all those images of Wonderland and Alice and a poet and sort of a world created by an artist, this was already mentioned in other versions. Which
was the song that it specifically had Alice, and it had a very similar feel to this.
I think there were a couple. So it kind of like got mentioned in different parts of it. So I mean, I think Thomas who writes the lyrics. So so his sort of lyrical character would be the poet. So and I think this album is Imaginarium, right? The song is from. So it's basically like exposing the soul of an artist, I would say. But I mean, if you saw the film, although it's been like a really long time since I saw that,
I haven't.
But it's like basically different worlds created by just one person, and we are traveling through them whenever we are hearing each of those songs. And I think like the line that I liked from the song, can you bring back the lyrics?
Yeah, I was just looking which other songs we did off this album. So we've done I Want My Tears Back, that's the one I think it spoke about Alice specifically, right?
Yeah, I think so. And we did Song of Myself.
Song of Myself, yeah.
Which was also, I think, was mentioning poet.
And like Dead Boy's poem also has the whole poet thing going as well.
Yeah, but I think it's a different album.
Yeah, that would be a different one.
I think I like the line that the story will read you real or something like that. Yeah, I'm the story that will read you real. So it's basically the story making the people alive. So you would imagine that it's something otherwise, like people come up with a story and then it becomes it starts existence. But here the whole story is like so powerful that it makes people real, So I think in the beginning, so it starts like really slowly, and I imagine in those lines, I was the night before when all through the world, no words, no dreams, then one day a writer by a fire, and instantly you imagine like a small dark house in the evening, and then there's a fireplace
in Finland. Snowy Finland.
Yeah, probably. And then there's a fireplace, and then some stranger comes in and starts telling a story, and then it just unfolds from that moment, and it unfolds so colorfully and in such a great volume. It just sort of takes the real world away, moves it on the side, and everything else is just the great story. And the wonderful thing about it is it's just created by the imagination of one person that made it all real, and made it real for other people too, and made them live the story,
As we take a journey into the child man's heart. I like that line.
Yeah, but the child man's heart, we also, I think, saw it in the other. So basically, the heart of a child living inside a grown man never.
Yeah, well, he never grew up.
No. Oh yeah, I remember also in the song I noticed that there was a choir at some point, and it was kids choir, I think, singing like boys choir.
We had that before in
the Dead
else.
Boys poem. There was and then in some other song. Oh God, my memory is just so full. But there was a choir boy starting the song.
Yeah, I distinctly remember.
Yes, I distinctly remember that. I wouldn't say which song it was, but it was there. And here it was also the song of the choir of the boys at the back of it. And I think that's kind of correlates with this idea, with the image of Peter Pan here too.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of slightly mentions all the biggest stories, like the biggest childhood stories, like the Peter Pan. And I think like the Peter Pan has a lot of significance because he's basically he has never grown. That's the dream of every man, like to never grow, to
still a child believing in fantasy and wonder and all these things. Also, and innocence.
As far as I remember, wasn't Peter Pan like, didn't he want to grow actually eventually?
Gosh, I haven't seen it since I was so young.
Yeah, I think
was he trying to grow up, you're saying?
I think he just
he didn't want to be a boy anymore.
Maybe I just saw some interpretation of that I mean, being always a boy, you just get tired, fighting the same old monster all the time. Although it's fun, but then it's also a bit of a sad story, in terms of all those boys, they got lost from their families and they're living this sort of dream life, but they would rather go and be with their families. So it's fun to play for a while, but if you can't get out of this game, it becomes a cage, sort of. So I would say Peter Pan was also trapped in his childhood, but here it is a child trapped inside a grown man. So I think there is something in there.
I mean, it's clear that he has a particular like affinity for Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Chimney, so probably it's like Santa Claus character there. Mm-hmm. Like all magic things are coming into the house through the chimney.
Magic door.
Mm-hmm. And obviously Alice from the Wonderland.
Mm-hmm. Lips that intoxicate.
What are you reading? Where? Imaginarium. Okay, caress the dials and they will dream you real. A story. Lips that intoxicate. Well, I don't think it's like super negative in this song. Obviously, like the good story has this effect on you, intoxicating, that you don't want to, you don't want it to end.
Yeah, just sort of drunk on the story.
Exactly.
And on the story, also probably not only the story, but the way that the storyteller tells it. Like, if you're thinking back to the old way of, someone actually telling a story verbally, then you're like hanging on every word.
And then it says right after that, the core of all life is a limitless chest of tales. So as long as we live through our tales.
Living life through story.
Yeah.
Definitely an ode to stories.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a person who likes stories, I do really like this song.
It's a story about stories.
A story about stories, about the power of stories, the power of storytelling and of transforming your life.
And of never growing up.
You don't have to grow up.
Not taking yourself too seriously, not taking life too seriously.
Maybe. I mean, if you grow up but you still believe in tales, then maybe it's not so bad.
Ooh, this reminds me, and also something you were saying earlier. So we've been watching American Gods. If you've seen the series, so firstly, something you said earlier was like basically what came first, like what created what, and it's sort of a theme that's common to American Gods. That like did people's belief create them, or did their existence cause people to believe? But now also what you were saying here, there was the character who came over from Ireland, what was her name? Nessie or something like that. And like from the time she was a little girl, she loved the story of her grandmother about the leprechaun, and all the traditions that they had to do to keep the leprechaun happy. And then as she grew older, right into her old age, she continued to do it. And then even as an old grandmother, she would tell the story to the children. And just that whole, she very much like reminded me of that kind of person.
Like always having a story in her heart.
Yeah, and that story meaning so much, like even as she went through life and became an old woman, and etc. etc.
She never stopped believing it.
Yeah, and never stopped spreading those stories and telling everyone that she could about these wonderful magical stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it can be related, yes. Okay, anything else about the story?
No, I mean it's obviously it's very well written. It's so poetic and storytelling.
I think it's
in its style.
It's for Christmas time.
Yeah.
When everyone believes in magic.
There's a very happy sort of optimistic feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know where else we should go in the Nightwish journey. I know we're missing one massive song, Greatest Show on Earth. That's what it's called, Greatest Show on Earth. So that will be coming at some point. But beyond that one, which we know we need to do, what would you say are some of the other must-dos?
I wonder if the Greatest Show on Earth relates to the Greatest Showman film or something.
Could be.
Yeah, we'll find out. Okay. Thank you for watching.
See you soon.